All right, good morning. It is Thursday. We are rapidly approaching the Alabama weekend, and a lot of things starting to take place outside this time of year. And April can be a wild card. And thus far, it has not been. It has been incredibly dry. We could use some rain. So let's take a look at our high temperatures here today. Rain could potentially work into our northern counties. Oddly enough, it'll be a weak shortwave moving through the Ohio Valley, and we might just get a brief shower. Otherwise, the story this afternoon, mid 80s once again, partly sunny skies. Here is later today. This is at noon. And we are looking at that little shortwave moving through. Of course, the more impactful rain and storms going to be across parts of Missouri, Illinois, perhaps Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky. But there might be a developing shower or storm. Now, watch what's going to happen here as this feature, MCS, develops and dives south. By midnight, it's got it up near Florence, near Muscle Shoals, diving south, but with very little moisture in our atmosphere. I don't expect this to really hold and make it to us here in northern Alabama. It could leave a cool air outflow boundary, but as far as impacts, fairly minimal. So with that in mind, Friday, that cool air outflow might affect our high temperatures some. In the northern half of the state, that's probably going to keep us in check. Granted, it's still going to be a very warm day, mid to upper 80s, but could keep us from getting into the 90s or any nonsense like that. Although it's certainly possible, I think that should that cooler air filter in from that MCS overnight, that will play a role in the forecast. All right, let's look ahead to Saturday. This is our next weather system here. And as we look at the big picture, Saturday during the day is going to be dry. Our window for rain is going to open sometime around 7, and then afterwards, it looks like. We'll keep that broad because, that may change. We're still a little while out. But we will see a band of showers, maybe a rumble of thunder move in with this. Now, the cool air is going to kind of go out ahead of this. It's going to be a fairly stable atmosphere and a dry atmosphere, meaning we're not going to have a lot of forcing. I don't expect much in the way of thunderstorms, and these showers, this line of showers, is going to die down the further south and further east you go, south of that I-85 corridor, east of I-65, south of Montgomery. So rain chances, or rain total is going to be much more sparse in that part of the state. Then we got cooler air that's going to move in here. How about early Monday morning? 40s for the northern half of the state. I wouldn't be shocked if there's mid 40s. Chilly morning here, and that'll kind of tell the narrative of early next week. So, Morgan Wallen, and this is, of course, going to be a pretty big concert, I think. I think he's a popular guy. So the question is the rain going to get here? I don't think we have a threat of rain early in this one. It's going to be by the time we head home. I give it about a 30 to 45% in that range, and I lean towards more of a 30. But, we'll keep an eye on it. And if there's any lightning, that'll be more of a concern than just a passing shower. So be safe if you're headed out to Bryant-Denny. Enjoy. Rain totals, again, scarce across the Wiregrass. Highest total is going to be up in Franklin, Lauderdale counties. And that's going to be, a half to 3/4 of an inch, but it drops off pretty quickly. And I think much of central Alabama is going to be much closer to, a tenth, maybe a quarter of an inch. We'll take it. But this is not going to reverse the drought by any means, and we look pretty dry early next week. Speaking of, let's go temperatures. After we start in the 40s, this is Monday afternoon at 3 o'clock. We are in the low to mid 70s across much of central and northern Alabama, maybe even some 60s up north of the Tennessee River. Tuesday morning, again, back in the upper 40s to lower 50s. And that cool air gradually working on out. We'll have mid to upper 70s across much of Alabama on Tuesday afternoon. And by Wednesday, those 40s should be gone, and we'll continue the warming trend, upper 70s to near 80 degrees by the middle of next week. The temperature outlook, you can still depict that ridge, but it's not as intense here through the middle of next week as you saw with those temperatures. They are above average, which by 2 to 4 degrees, but not the crazy 10 degrees that we've had here of late. The 8 to 14 day outlook, this would take us right up to the start of May. This also does not have as impressive of a confidence, so I think our temperatures are going to come back down to earth some here over the next couple of weeks, and if that ridge breaks down, that could mean more rain for us. It's been a blocking pattern, and that has really, really impacted our overall pattern here and made much of Alabama dry. So, yes, we could use the rain. It is not something that is, again, equatable or even to everybody. I said it earlier this week, is what's beautiful to me and what's enjoyable to me weather-wise may not be to you. If I say it's beautiful outside, but you need rain, that's not fair. So we're being sensitive with the forecast here. We do need the rain, and I think a little bit this weekend it's going to help. But until we have a good, significant series of rain events, we could be looking at a rapidly increasing drought scenario. Of course, that update's coming out later on today. That's your forecast discussion for this Thursday. Y'all have a great day. Stay safe. And if I don't see you until then, have a great weekend.